Hi guys, if you don't know me, I'm Emily and this is Brooks Family Farm. I wanted to turn on the camera real quick this morning because it's a happy day at the farm. We're getting new chicks. It's always one of my favorite days. I came out first thing to get their brooder freshened up this morning, and then I think Neil is gonna actually go and get them at the post office. Our chicks are sent through the mail from a hatchery in Iowa. This is our first time using this hatchery. We had been using another one in Alabama through the beginning of the year. So we had gotten our last chicks. They're 6 weeks old, so 6 weeks ago, and they went outside about 3 weeks ago, and I was pretty lazy about getting the brooder ready. So it's just how they left it. So this sits under the overhang of our shop. Just plywood and tin on the outside. These windows are pretty high up, so this isn't strong, but it's just netting to keep bigger critters out. Those windows also fold down, so it's clipped up right now, but we fold the tin down. We fold that tin down, especially at night when they're very young, just to discourage predators. I forget the measurements. Neil would know. We'll get this all cleaned up and come back.
So where are we going, Helen?
We're going to MFA and going to get chicks.
New chicks? How many chickens are we getting? I think we're getting like 70.
70, that's a lot.
That is a lot.
And we'll need 2 chicken tractors.
Yep, we'll use both of the chicken tractors for them.
Neil just got back from the post office and had to go feed the cows really quick, but we've got the chicks in the brooder and I'm gonna start getting them out. I have the waters full, which is important when they get here. The feed, Neil has just bought a new batch so we can measure a little more carefully. So we don't have that, but they don't need that right away. They do need the water. I don't see any right now that are dead. Sometimes you'll lose 1 or 2 on the trip, but I don't see any. I'm gonna dip their beaks in the water just so they can get a drink and so that they'll know where it is. Chicks don't need food or water for 72 hours after hatching. They absorb the yolk of the egg right after they hatch, and it lasts them that long. They hatched on Monday, and today is Wednesday. They look like they're doing great, but I want to make sure they know where the water is. I've heard lots of people say you just need to show 1 or 2 chicks where it is, and the rest of them will find it, but this is how I count them also.
I did.
Great. 25.
The chickens are so small and cute.
We got 30 so far.
30,
30.
31, 32. We're getting a lot, Dad.
What?
That month, they were fast and they were all getting out the door. So, Mom told me to go in and she shut the door. So, none of them got out again.
Good.
Tiki, I think this one that is a little kid that has all the rest is the brothers and sisters.
I think so.
You got it, Tiki.
45 so far.
Hey, what Tiki, are you going for some feed already or in this one? But there's no feed in this one. That one. Hey, what Tiki, you're very cute. He was
Gentle.
Here. Now there's some feed in there for you, Huey.
Did you call him Huey?
Yes. I actually tried to say Howie. I actually say Huey instead. I want to name one of them Huey, Mama, Helen, and Dad. That's what I want to
Well,
name.
you can name them. That sounds good.
I can name one. That little one in the corner.
Okay, you stay right there for a moment.
And I'll watch him make sure they don't get.
Yeah, you watch them. I'm going to try and take this box out. You're doing a good job of being careful. Now I'm going to scoop you out. We're checking to make sure their temperature is good, which if they're all huddled up together, usually they're too cold. And if they're all spread out, usually they're too hot. This chick doesn't look great. He may just be tired. They're very tired, but I want to check on him. Look at him laying down funny. Look at him laying down funny. Yeah, okay, he's tired. They make me nervous sometimes. Now, this feeder, the chicks get into it. Usually we don't have trouble with them getting back out of it. They're eating out of this one more than the other one. So I'll go ahead and see if I can pull them out and add some feed to it. Because as it gets down, they get in there. So we'll fill that up a little bit in just a minute. Let's see if I can. I want to go over and look at our bigger chickens so you can see where these guys will be going. They'll stay in the brooder for about 3 weeks. They'll start to have pretty good feathers at that point. That's really what we're waiting on. We're able to help them regulate their body temperature in the brooder with those heat lamps in that controlled environment while they start to grow their feathers. And then they come out to this chicken tractor. And these chickens are Cornish Cross chicks, and we process them in between 7 and 8 weeks old. Has really given us the size that we like. So I'm standing here where these chicken tractors started, and they've moved in a straight line down there to where they are. The grass here is already looking great. Usually right after you move them off a spot, and you'll see up here, there's a lot of chicken poop and they've squished a lot of grass. Yeah?
Why do we pull the chicken tractor?
So that they can have new grass to eat and new bugs to eat.
New places to eat?
And new places to poop. Yes. So you can see right here, this is probably we're in like 3 days back right here. It's a little more matted down. You can kind of see the lines that were in between the tractors. So they've pooped, they've matted it down, but man, it grows back really nicely, and you can even tell. You just travel around. Hey guys. Hey guys. So they're about ready to move today, actually. So ordinarily I would film this later so it looks better. But we moved them in the mid-afternoon. Yeah, some flies get in there. And the chickens like to eat them. They like to eat flies. They like to eat bugs. We've had a few aphids actually in their feed. And when we give them feed, they just eat the aphids. So we haven't done anything about it. Maybe I'll come back out here when we feed them in a couple hours and show you, because they just go after those aphids. And it's pretty funny. So that's a very brief overview of our chicks and our chickens. We have yet to have a batch without any losses. That's the goal. We keep trying to make improvements and address things. We've had a few losses to predators, to raccoons, and that led us to modify these tractors a little bit. We had a loss, really our only big loss with this batch of chickens was to a snake in the brooder, and so that's led to some modifications there. So really impressed with these chicks so far. We'll see how they grow. What else do I need to tell you about these? We don't do any prophylactic medications. We don't have them vaccinated. We don't use any antibiotics if they're unneeded. We haven't had to do that. None of our chickens so far have ever had any type of medication or vaccination. Not that we think there's anything wrong with that, just that we haven't needed to, and so the less we put in them, the better, in my opinion. Everyone does it a little bit differently. But because everyone does it a little bit differently, I wanted to show you our process. And there are people who raise meat chickens just in a pen, plenty of room to roam, they're out in the sunlight, and that's wonderful, but they don't have the access to the grass and the bugs, which we've seen these birds do forage a lot. So I think that's interesting and noteworthy to me, and I think it's beneficial. I'm certainly not going to tell you we're the best at raising these chickens. We're still early on and we're still learning. I just want to be fairly transparent about our processes, specifically for our customers. And if you're watching this and you're not anywhere close to us and you're wanting to do this on your own farm, I think that's awesome, and I want you to do it the best that you can and the best that you know how and are able to. So this could be an example of either what to do or what not to do, however you want to look at it. I want to show our customers what we're doing because I'm proud of what we're doing. Even if we can improve, we can always improve. That doesn't mean I'm not proud of our current processes. So I kind of wanted to take and show you through the baby chicks, the larger chickens, kind of where they live and how they live. So thanks for coming along with us today on our little chick adventure. I hope to see you again soon. Thank you so much.